In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, praise is due to Almighty Allah, Lord of the world. May the peace and benediction of Allah be upon his infallible household, the faithful ones among his companions, and those who follow them faithfully till the day of judgment. Well, we have come your way once again, and of late, the issue of LGBTQI plus has taken center stage in the discourse surrounding the social, political, and moral landscape of the country. That has eventually led to the passage of a bill by the lawmaking chamber of our democratic representation to discover the reality, the absence of a law or a legal provision, either prohibiting or permitting the act of LGBTQI plus, was a bone of contention among individuals, academicians, policymakers, and civil society organizations. Now that Parliament has passed a bill criminalizing the act, the controversies continue to linger, the controversies continue to ensue. And it is on the basis of these challenges that we have come your way to respond to the issues that have taken us so far. So without further ado, we are privileged to have with us Alhaji Rahman Manan, that is the president of the Coalition of Muslim Organizations of Ghana, that is COMOG, to respond to this issue. Haj, you are most welcome to the studio of the Shia community.
Thank you very much.
We are privileged to have you.
It's my pleasure.
So, without a slight of doubt, COMOG, which is an integral part of the proper human sexual rights and family values, has indeed played a pivotal role in advancing the ideals of the organization that led to the passage of the parliamentary bill criminalizing the act of LGBTQI. Why is COMOG concerned about the recent passage of the anti-LGBTQI bill?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I wish to also greet your cherished viewers, and also want to make a quick point, and that has to do with the position of COMOG. As a coalition of Muslim organizations Ghana, we are a political entity. We may be described as political, but non-partisan. Okay. Sometime around 15 years ago, activism surrounding this LGBT started with few bodies. Gradually, we had umbrella bodies of Christian community, Muslim community, and National House of Chiefs, forming the platform called National Coalition for Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Value, incorporated and decided to lobby. Luckily enough, somewhere during Right Honorable Aaron Quay's era, a law was passed giving a window for individual members of parliament to be able to sponsor bills. So either it may be their personal effort or the efforts of individual from or group of persons from outside. So it was an opportunity for us. That was when we started putting our thoughts together. So such a time when we got to a point where we were very sure that we could sponsor that bill, because around that time, some other countries were also agitating for similar cause. So a draft was developed. But before then, I wanted to say that COMOG is a partisan because our position has not changed. one can search our position online, that we came out with a press statement supporting both the position, the bipartisan position of the previous parliaments. I mean, the sponsors of the bill. We were then regarded as the promoters. We were behind, and then we have those who have the legal right to table it before the parliament as the sponsors. And so our position we should be seen from that light.
Okay.
You know, there were challenges last year. We organized fora. We joined other activists to organize demonstration against the issues by the previous regime. So our position has not changed. Whatever position we have today is about the issues and not about who is in governance.
Okay.
So that should be very clear, because in the leadership we have all the political divides as part of the leadership, and so that should be clear to our viewers. Then I was talking about the history, and so it got to a point where we need to develop a draft. A draft was developed, and then we had less than 10 members coming from the NPP side and more than 10 members of parliament coming from NDC side that they were ready to sponsor the bill. Along the line, the number kept dropping until we finished with the drafts. When the drafts came out and we're all satisfied with everything, we had a breakfast with Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Alban Suman Bagwen. And in fact, it was actually organized for Christian community, and he did promise that he's ever ready to also organize similar breakfast for Muslim, which it didn't happen anyway. So we had that breakfast with the speaker, and that was the very day we had to officially hand over the document or the draft to the speaker to signify our position that we have finished. Now everything can be taken over by the parliament to come out with the final bill. So we did. And on that very day, we had 7 members of NDC side, and then about 4 or so from MPP side. Okay. That was the very last number. Okay. Before the signing, 3 members from the MPP side dropped. They were sitting right there at the hall, but they were requested from afar that they must step down. And like I said, NDC was also more than 10, but the number dropped up to 7. We were lucky we had Reverend Intim Fojo, then the Deputy Minister for Education from the MPP side, who refused to step down. So we're lucky to have 1 from the NPP side, 7 from the NDC side, and it became bipartisan position. Okay. The whole country, we rallied the whole country behind this position, because we thought that 1, it will sanitize our society, 2, it will protect individual religious norm, which we all converge at that point, that such act is no area. 3, it will protect our cultural values. So we all united. We were all united. The whole country was united. In fact, COMOG organized fora in Tamale, in Kumasi, in Accra, and met all the Muslim stakeholder organizations on this very issue, just like other Christian bodies also did. And everybody was behind this bill, except a few. We were all aware what happened. And the very time when they was about to go to first reading, the second reading were all in Parliament. Even before it got to the main House of Parliament, all the sponsors, all the promoters were asked to come and make their presentation, including those who were against.
Including COMOG?
Yes. Okay. So we were all at the Parliament House, and it was broadcast live. We made our position. In fact, the LGBT community were also there to make their position. Unfortunately, we were equally smart. We had our technicians back in the office whilst we were there. We were the almost last group to make our presentation. We realized that a lot of them were presenting a whole lot of write-up, so we decided to do pictorial presentation. Whilst they were sitting there, they saw those horrible pictures, that were projected, and some of them were uncomfortable. Well, we were able to make our case. So from that stage, the document was then moved finally to the House. And then we're on our feet. We made it very clear to parliamentarians that, look, we want the hearing, the commentary, the position of individual MPs to be known. Therefore, we want it to be telecast live, which was done. And alhamdulillah, it was passed. Why it was not assented to by the previous president, that is a long story. But at the end of the day, there was that hypocrisy on that part of that political divide. Then they were then the majority, or those in power. And we had series of demonstrations, press conferences, pushing then the previous government to make sure that they assent to that bill so that it becomes law. It didn't happen. Recently, some seven days or so ago, we were there when we heard that a new bill has been passed into law. I said, how come? 3 months ago, we had meeting with Honorable Sam George. And you see, we've been meeting at different places, Calvary Methodist headquarters, Catholic secretariat, Pentecostal. We've been meeting in the various member bodies' offices. And this very meeting was held at Catholic secretariat. And Honorable Sam George was there. There was no hint. In fact, let me go back. Before the elections, he met us at Calvary Baptist Church. Calvary Methodist Church. And he hinted us that, look, there is one particular clause that we're much particular about. That, look, is going to be, they wanted to touch it. So we should do everything possible to make sure that it is not touched. Okay. We did.
Okay. Is it possible to know, for us to know?
Yes, we'll come to that particular article, because that is the bone of contention. Okay. Then when we came to, so it was passed. 3 months ago, as a minister, he came there to brief us that, Charlie, I'm with you. My position has not changed. So okay, we are fine. We are also backing you with our prayers. And then all of a sudden, that the document has been passed with 31 amendments, deletions, restructuring, etc. 31. And 21, either they amend 21 introductions into the previous bill.
Interesting.
Surprisingly, we didn't follow it. We didn't know what actually happened. But the information we had later was that for a parliament to pass to conduct business, they need about 90-something number. The number should be about 90-something. I'm not too sure, about 95 or 92. But to take a decision, there must be 100 and something, 120 thereabout, to take a decision. Yeah. Now, this is a decision making or decision point of the bill. Yeah. So we're expecting the number to be around 100 plus. Mm. But according to our information, that they were 35. Interesting. When that bill was passed. Mm. Now, even the quorum, there's a problem with it. Yeah. But I'm not a lawyer. Yeah. Therefore, my coming here, my brother and your cherished viewers, please permit me. I'm not a lawyer, and therefore I'm not prepared to go into details. Otherwise, this is the document I have here. The deletions, the restructuring, the amendments, etc. They are all here. But there is one particular, and basic grammar. Yeah. If you take just one word in a sentence and replace it with another word, if it is not a synonymous, the whole meaning is likely to change. I mean, you don't need anybody to tell you this. Absolutely. But what is disturbing some of us is that we have voted for people to represent us. In other words, we have ceded our authority and our powers to some individuals to represent our interests. Absolutely. So the parliamentarians are supposed to listen to we the constituents and live up to our expectation. Ghana has not changed. We have not killed every Ghanaian and brought up new generation or new set of human beings. It's the same Ghanaians some 2 years ago. And luckily enough, my brother, as a coalition of Muslim organizations, we were on the ground to campaign. Please, you may check from online. We were in Pram Pram. In fact, the sponsors of LGBTQI International, they were in Ghana with a lot of resources to make sure that some of the sponsors do not win their primaries. Somebody should find out from Honorable Sam George. For Pram Pram, we were there in our numbers because he was their target.
I see.
We contributed through intelligence. We contributed with our own presence. We contributed in mobilizing our own people in his constituency to support him. We didn't do that for nothing. We did that because we wanted him to come back and continue from the unfinished job and make sure that the work is finished. That is our position. As if that's not enough, look, we coordinated other constituencies. The only one from the NDC side that lost her primaries was the Pandu Dai South MP. Well, she has her own issues. We try our best, but it didn't work out. But in the case of Intim Fojo coming from the MPP side, we did the same. And we came up boldly to issue our statement, which is verifiable. So our position should be clear. Ours is that we want something for the future of our children. And so, for someone to make any attempt to tag us as though we are against a particular system or particular government, it can't be true. We and Sam George demonstrated to High Court of the Republic of Ghana. He's aware. We mobilized our people. We demonstrated. You know, all that we're doing because we wanted to protect whatever that we're sending, and because we realized that if care is not taken, that particular bill will not be assented to. It will not become law, and therefore we need to prepare ourselves that until we are foreseeing that definitely the second government, which is likely to be NDC, we need to start working around NDC to make sure that when they come into government, it will be passed. And then one of the members of the board of governance of National Coalition for Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values met His Excellency the President. And the President assured them. In fact, they met him on our behalf because they briefed us that, look, I am a Pentecostal, and therefore, when I come to power, I'll sign. Well, we were told that the bill has never been transmitted to the previous president, therefore it was not in presidency for His Excellency the President to sign. Notwithstanding, the passage of this law and the commentary thereafter, I think it is not fair to we the Ghanaians. You talk about that clause.
Yes.
It's called the accountability clause. In fact, when you go through the Senegalese bill or Senegalese law on this very issue, you go through that of Uganda, Kenya, Nigeria, etc., etc. That particular clause is there throughout because that is the window through which the financiers do pass to enter our system.
I see.
One, if you could recall, there was this issue of the textbook, a textbook from for SHS or so that was published or yet to be distributed, and that's some aspect of it. They managed to smuggle some aspect of LGBTQI materials in that book. Now you see this very clause is telling us that today, if you are a journalist, you are a media house, you are an academia, you are in academia, you are a medical doctor, whichever profession you belong to, and you use your profession to promote and advocate for LBGT, you should be arrested and be in prison.
Okay.
And this new bill is saying that you can do so and go scot-free.
Interesting.
Meanwhile, we have NGOs, we have professors, we have medical doctors who are doing this under the disguise that they are pursuing their professional career. And that is also very problematic. And also there are so many of this, like I said, more than 21 that has been introduced. And so we see the current bill as being watered down.
Absolutely.
And therefore it will not represent the interests of good people of Ghana.
MashaAllah. Wow. Thank you so much for this enlightenment. Absolutely, some of us were not privy to this valuable information or relevant information you've provided. So why, in your own personal observation so far, why was the bill passed without the usual broader stakeholder consultations?
Yes, like I said, before the previous one was passed, at every stage, the sponsors do delegate 1 or 2 persons to meet us.
Okay.
And what I'm saying, somebody should come and say that what I'm saying, it is not true. At the Pentecostal, conference hall, we had the chairman of the Christian community in Parliament. The chairman was there, and then one other person was there to brief us. At every meeting that we go, they come to brief us. And we strategize together. And it was so good. You know, but for this particular one, somebody should come and tell us that we as promoters, my brother, we have spent our resources, money, our time, we've risked our lives. And energy in coming this far. And all of a sudden, you come out with a document and as if you are not existing. Go and then you have it passed. As if you don't know us, you don't have our contacts, we have never been together. You know, so that is our worry, that you couldn't have done so without with the promoters, with those who were behind doing our best to mobilize everything, our human resource, fiscal resource, to support this bill, and all of a sudden you take this decision without our consent. So we're not consulted.
I see. Interesting. So in this vein, it is clear that the Speaker of Parliament himself has concerns over the passage of the bill. So is there any possibility that there can be a parliamentary review over the passage of the anti-LGBTQI bill? Also,
you could remember that as a coalition and our major stakeholders, we confer on Right Honorable Speaker one of the highest award as Saifullah, the sword of Allah, the sword of God.
Yeah.
Why? Because he has been very consistent. Yes. He has been very, very consistent. And so when we heard his comment that, look, he thinks that it shouldn't go that way. And then he continued by saying that, look, he didn't give that instruction that this thing should be passed. That. And we thought that we must support him. So we have issued a statement calling on Ghanaians, calling on other stakeholder organizations and institutions to support the position of the Right Honorable Speaker. You see, 2 things are likely to happen. One, Honorable Speaker is calling for the 3rd reading.
Okay.
And the 3rd reading is when, in fact, we're going to see the proper length of each and every parliamentarian. Because we did that in the previous reading, why can't we do that this time around? We will insist on live coverage. Okay. So that we'll see who and who will get up to comment otherwise about the bill. In fact, I keep saying that politicians don't learn, my brother. They don't learn. In fact, at the last bill, there was one lady who was vehemently opposed to this bill. They should ask themselves, where is she today? Is she back to Parliament? Politicians don't learn. Exactly. She was vehemently opposed to the bill. In fact, at the floor of Parliament, she was the only person who spoke vehemently against that bill.
I see.
Where is she today? She was not able to come back to Parliament. The only person who was against it on the floor of Parliament. So we are hoping that if the Right Honourable Speaker succeed in bringing back the bill, and for it to be discussed on the floor of Parliament, we will see who and who will be against what.
Interesting.
What we did last year in the previous bill, we went to the various constituencies. We mobilized their constituents. If you, Mr. A, you are against this bill, we went their constituents and mobilized their constituents. They should call the person to ask him of his position. That's what we did. We are not talking about only Christians, we had some Muslims. You know, yes.
Opposing the bill.
They were clandestinely, you know, they were not straightforward, you know, we made their constituents to push them to make their position clear or keep quiet. And that's exactly what happened in Parliament that day. So what we are saying is that we are hoping that is our one expectation, that the Speaker of Parliament will succeed to in bringing back the bill for the third reading. That's one. Two, the quorum will be questioned, and some may even take it to court to question the quorum. Three, if these both expectations fail, some of us sincerely believe that when it gets to the table of His Excellency the President of the Republic, he will not assent to it. We have that hope. But when it gets to that stage, we'll know how to dance around it. But we still believe that it will not get to that stage. And by the time it gets to the stage of the table of His Excellency the President, it should be very clear to him that, look, I'm signing a document that I'll be remembered of, that will protect our children, that will protect our values as a country, that at the end of the day, when my name is mentioned, this document or whatever I left behind, I'll be remembered of, and it will not come as what happened in the past. And so we think that inshallah we'll not get to a point where the president will have difficulty as whether the whole country is behind this bill or not. We strongly believe that the Right Honourable Speaker will succeed in bringing back the bill for it to be read the third time.
We strongly believe that the Right Honourable will succeed in bringing back the bill for third reading.
Yes.
MashaAllah. We thank Alhaji Rahman Abdel Manan for brightening the darkness, for enlightening the obscure, for making it clear for us to understand the nitty-gritty surrounding this socio-political and moral issue that has permeated the landscape of the country. Well, you know as well as I do that the LGBTQI group is flushed with cash and armed to the teeth, ready to advance their interests no matter the situation. But the existence of powerful groups like the Coalition of Muslim Organizations of Ghana, led by reputable individuals like Alhaji, Manan, in fact, we do not have any doubt that they would try within the framework of their capability to make sure that the moral sanctity of our democracy is preserved. Alhaji Manan, what is your advice? That is by your last statement by way of advice to the Muslim youth as far as the Republic of Ghana is concerned.
I think that it's up to all of us to have this education go very far. You will recall that before the previous bill was passed, as part of our advocacy and our sensitization, it has come up that some of our brothers, in fact, I was called. There was a clinic that was established by a church, but we didn't have the means to do that. So we're all relying on that church. Unfortunately, some of our brothers will go for treatments. In fact, some of them, they come out to say, yes, I have issues, and then I need counseling. Either we are called for counseling, or we not even know of how they found their way there. And at the end of the day, you can imagine what happened to their faith. So we've been trying to see what we can do to mobilize and for us to have counseling centers, one in Accra, one in Kumasi, one in Tamale, just to take care of the 3 different zones. So that whenever we have our brothers, our sisters for counseling, some of them need actually medical care to be able to move from the situation in which they had. My brother, you have no idea that our young ones have been destroyed, the annuals have been destroyed. You have absolutely no idea. But people think that it is just a joke. It's not a joke. And because of lack of financial, economic situation that they find themselves, they all fall into all this kind of situation where those who have the money decide to lure them to do all manner of things with our children. And so we think that it is about time we let this education go far. And that's why I congratulate you for this program. We need to continue to talk about it. We need to call on our imams to use their pulpits, their khutbah, to discuss this. Please, we are not against any political party. We are for the future of this country, the future of our children. If you think you don't have a child of that age that will be affected, somebody's child will be affected.
Absolutely.
And particularly those of us in leadership, it is our responsibility to ensure that this education go far. Let's take our political interests and put it aside. Even if you want to be concerned about your politics, if you want to be concerned, I have said it and I will say it here, that the best advice you can give to your political party is what will protect that political party's interest tomorrow. If the previous government did that and we talked to them and they never listened, where are they today? Ghanaians were so mad. In fact, Ghanaians were mad, and the whole Ghana turned green, not because the party members in the Green Party, they were so handsome, Ghanaians liked them so much. No, it is out of anger of Ghanaians. And that is enough lesson for the current members in power to understand that you are dealing with the same Ghanaians and you know the thinking of Ghanaians. If you don't know, Ghanaians can be rational. Ghanaians can think deep. And Ghanaian will wait. The day you come to him or her for your part, for your, vote, that is where he will let you understand his position. And so if you belong to a particular political party, please advise the party members of other political divide. Many of them have spoken to me, oh, our people, they are not doing well. But I think that is the best advice you can give them. Our position is Ghana. Our position is the Ummah of this country. And that is our position. And we hope and pray that Ghanaians will, as they have been doing, will come along with us so that we will succeed in this venture. And on this note, I wish to thank you very much for having me. Inshallah.
MashaAllah. Well, we have come to the end of the program, and we use this humble medium to once again thank Alhaji Abdel Manan, the president of COMOG, for forsaking his tight work schedule to visit the studio to enlighten us. And we thank him. May the Almighty Allah continue to preserve him, to continue championing the affairs of the Muslim community and beyond. Till we come your way once again. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.